To me, Jim is really a rare thing in the modern poetry world because he's a refreshing, original voice, and he's not beholden to or associated with any particular school or movement in poetry. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but so many poets, you hear them say, oh, he's a follower of this poet, or he grew out of this MFA program, or whatever. Jim is really a fully formed original, and I have been a fan of his for many years, so I was very happy that he joined the label, joined the press. His first chapbook for us, Pieces of 8, was an investigation of the number 8 from many different perspectives. And since this is poetry, the 8 also worked its way into the form and structure of the poetry itself. That was the first one that he did for us. His most recent one, do we have one of those up here?
Yes, we do.
And it is for sale here, you can get one, is Thelonious Fake Book. Do you have one of those, Michael? Okay. And Brad, I think you have one of these. This is an attempt. It's not an attempt, it's a success. This is basically Jim transposing the work of jazz composer and pianist Thelonious Monk to the poetry page. And literally, he just got inside the music, and as if he were transposing it into another key or something, he transposed it into the key of poetry. So it's a really original thing, and it's an awesome work. That's his most recent work for Kenny Steiner Editions. It's a really ambitious thing, but honestly, Jim takes on huge, ambitious projects. He's doing a Pittsburgh-based trilogy. He's done 2 of them already, each of them named after one of the 3 rivers, where he deals with Pittsburgh history and Pittsburgh culture, Pittsburgh imagery. This is one of the earlier ones, Allegheny Rising. And it's kind of like a Pittsburgh version of William Carlos Williams's Patterson, but amped. Now it's my privilege to present Mr. Toothpaste Gravy himself, Jim Deuchars. Let me get out of your way. I better turn
How could
off
you
my
ever
phone.
be in my way, Bill? You're my publisher. I love and honor and respect you. All that good stuff.
While I'm around, yes.
No, even behind your back. Good morning. Alrighty, I'm gonna trick you with some shorter, sillier stuff, and then when I get you sucked in, I'll make you listen to me drone on something longer. Any questions? The word exactly appears exactly 3 times in this poem. The word lavender appears approximately once. Several words make no appearance in this poem whatsoever. However, whatsoever is not one of them. Centrifugal did appear at first, but was removed from final draft. Described another way, centrifugal once appeared exactly once. Last place I looked. Pittsburgh is a broken man who won't be getting up again. For doing so would mean admitting he had fallen. He generally is true of heart and hopeful, but his spelling ain't so good. There is a quality about him that makes you wonder if he did mean hopeful. So, you can see there is some cowboy in him. Makes you wonder what he meant to in the first place. Pedestrian American chorus. Your steps will take you places when your life is steeped at walking paces. On warmest days, those 3 unshaded, hillish blocks ahead are hellish eastwood deserts, crossing Spanish noble sand-scoured browns and yellows into monumental reds, deep sun, adobe, dull. If you save your breath, I feel a man like you can manage it. Mockingbirds, contemplating semicolons. Splattering song ring, free-range word fling, riffs of unstiff spiff, contemplating semicolons. In the South and in the West, and in all the place names they are most known to flit, the mostest, strangest bird calls, oftentimes are mockingbirds, contemplating semicolons. Oftentimes, a mockingbird who's out to learn your song. But once, as I was contemplating semicolons, I met a mockingbird who taught me dragonfly. This poem now comes in strawberry, as well as chocolate, and Aunt Mom's original recipe. No peanuts were harmed in the making of this poem, and thanks to the nature of the form, whipped cream remains a vegetable. Riddle-winning window whining. Buzz, pop, puzzle, gossip, sparks across the midnight air smoke. Bloodshot half remembers morning spark that startled it into an almost dreamless state. Clevering may scrub it into clearly, but your moon-tooth chewing confidence, and your mouthing outside lines of shouted pantomime. You're drifting, misting into better, out of best intentions. Whether eastward, western, wily, ripe, evaporating, coming into hidebound windrush, wondering if you were ever even on the road now, till you're spun-wheel tired, trying, drifting onto shoulder, smothering your wonder, till your gauge, gone empty, wanders into ways of thinking, habits out until perspective thrills at third hand definitely, tenderly. And you recall the way a smirk can really get your smiler started. Okay, I'm going to break the moment and get this the heck out of the way because it keeps playing back. That's how we embrace the organic process of living poetry in the American scene. And also now that I take a drink of this. This is where a pretty of a poem would have happened. Flutter, flattery of flapping. Once it's got your flabbergasted goat, will gust you scrumptious. High to ain't no even near enough. Almost, at least until gut wrench rot unscrews and groin kick strips you, thin air breathless, into speechless hover over blank page. And you know you need to, not to. And you could use a shower. Surface tension. It's in the moment after waking, fresh from dreaming you. Your voice is clearest to me. While my brainstem basics barely function, I hear the song you whisper, clearly. My eyes, still closed, I half expect to find you next to me. I can feel the surface tension of another on my bed. Reaching for you, I awaken snoring cat. And now I have to pee. Spirit is mundane. People who live in past houses shouldn't throw ghosts. Hands in concert. Brahms, in D minor, feels anxious, sad, and urgent. Maniacs sits patiently on bench, inspecting swirl of wind, winds and strings, his patient hands clasped, limp, still. I sit with someone new, hopeful, side by side and close, inspecting distance to her hands clasped, unsettled at her knees. Manny lifts his wrists, fingers poised at a moment over keys. I reach and touch, and she accepts, our fingers intertwining each with unfamiliar others. Searching to the right of middle C, acts as delicate and tenderly ignores the implication of his name. I'm learning new particulars of finger length, anticipating sensitivities, and delighting in peculiarity of palm lines. Worrying my ring is digging into unfamiliar skin, too soon to know too well. We're only at our second meet, while Manny had 3 days rehearsal with this keyboard, so his searching knows the score. Softly, moving downscale left with cautious joy, his hands cross over, right to left, and over, under. Her hands cross over, resting free fingertips upon my wrist, and sharing impulse, we lean closer, tighter. As the second theme begins, Manny's concert hands are winning o'er conflicted Tootie's urgent crying try. Our hands, in concert, sensing better shapes we may fit, fall into. Glossary, repulse, and petting zoo. Most attention spans are actually pigeons. Most poems are wolverines. Wolverines in underpants, and freshly showered armpit chicken. Depending on the sense percepted, presupposing that sombrero is a broken toothbrush, once you realize that bricks and breasts and broth are different. You shiver in the early, saying lazy morning Z's, each easy-tonguing lip-smack, grape juice laughter, soft as toilet paper trees. Casually, denial causes us to think we should natural more clever than we often seem to yawn out fetishistic manifesti. But the fountain's so aware it's pink, and the boulevard of broken allies is so wide, we orange cone ourselves perpetual, immobile, in an unfamiliar bed, the morning after cigarettes, and the broken ceiling fan that rattles, and the wolverines. Bad got good. Revenge of the cubic cubist. Here's a two-parter, so it's the Roman numeral. Math up your practical, cowboy. I'm meaner than a Chinese midget at pickle carving time. And twice as likely. I'll tinsel your tonsils, boy. I'll dry out your pomegranate and smoke your earwax. You hearing that high-pitched medicine yet? Do you smell something burning? Then drink up those elbow shavings and nurse your synthetics. I'll paper cut your uncle. Twice on Sunday. I'll trap you in parentheses and make you call your parents. So polish up your Polish until your bathtub fills with treble clefs and toothpaste gravy. I'll mortgage your meaningful. I'll mincemeat your dazzle morose. I'll trip my wig and call it molasses. I'll safety belt your sassafras and tickle freeze your dictionary, then defrost it for you with a side of marigolds and saffron brandy curls. Maybe reside your besotted possible. Let me paint your popcorn, tune your plumage like a hot rod plum, spice your icicles, and champion your chalk art hopscotch. Travel advisory: when visiting the Green Cheese Moon, do not drink the ocean. It is filled with pepper water.